Hi, I'm Big Bear, and welcome to my new hobby space, which is really not organised and sorted yet, but we're getting there slowly. Anyway, I am at an Age of Sigmar tournament tomorrow, and I'm bringing my Kruleboyz army. I've never played the game before, apart from a couple of games of Spearhead, so it's going to be interesting. But anyway, I've got a couple of models to finish, just to finish off my army ready for tomorrow, so there's no time like the present. So I'll show you what my hobby desk looks like at this moment in time, and then we can take it from there. Anyway, run VT. So as you can see here, this is my hobby setup as things stand. We've got some shelving up with the paints, and I've managed to get a desk on. It is nowhere near organised. We still have loads of things to sort. Pushchairs to put away, a bit more stuff to do, but we'll get there. But today is all about getting ready for our Age of Sigmar tournament tomorrow. So here's what's on the hobby desk, and here's how we're going to do it. So first up on the hobby desk and our new hobby HQ is these orc manifestations. Now Kyle has helped me to build my army list, and he said that manifestations are a must-have if you can, if you've got a wizard in your army. So good friend Mark managed to get these manifestations for me, so thank you very much, Mark. And we're just going to give these a really quick once over. So we're starting with some dry paints. So these are Citadel dry brush paints, which we were given by our local GW store, so thank you very much. And that was part of a Amazon Parade prize. We're just giving them a really quick dry brush all over in these various different shades of white and grey, whatever it might be that I've just got to hand, ready to give them a quick speed paint. We haven't got much time. The tournament's tomorrow, so we just need to get on and get it done. Next up, we have this Maw Crusher, who ordinarily comes with a War Boss or Gordrak, the Fist of Gork. Now, this was a Murfield Miniatures pickup, and so it was missing that. So I'm going to try and use a couple of other models that I've got just to try and finish it off. And I also found this chain whilst I was tidying my, or building my hobby shed, should I say. So let's see how we get on with this. First up, we're going to try and remove these models from their bases as carefully as possible. Lots and lots of little snips in and around the feet. Now, the Hobgrot was on a slotty base, so this wasn't too bad. This was all right, and I think he's got a banner, so he's just going to kind of sit on the back. Now, this other model has got this awesome cage on his head. His actual base has his feet built into it, so that's going to take a little bit more work of cutting around it, trying to keep the feet in place. Now, I don't know whether it will be shown in shot, but I do get both feet off carefully and get both feet glued on. However, later on in the evening, one of those gets pinged off somewhere across the hobby shed. So he does have 1 foot less on the model, but when I get around to gluing, I've tried to hide that with this chain that I've got as well. Now we've got these miniatures done, it's just time to do a few touch-ups with the paintbrush, and then this Maw Crusher is quite dusty, so it needs a good clean, and on further inspection I do think it needs a bit of a paint job. There's quite a few bits that are yellowing. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like some glue that's dried, so we're just going to use some speed paints, contrast paints, just to try and touch it up and tidy it up a little bit, and hopefully that should do the trick. This model is really detailed. Anyone collected the Spearhead magazine, this was one of the premium kits that you did get with that. Some people call it like the big giant cabbage, but I think it's perfectly built for these contrast paints because it just seeps into all these cracks. And the bluey colour that we had, I think this grey just covers a bit better. I am going to lighten it up with a bit of a highlight with a dry brush over the top, and we'll do the same with these brown wings. I'm not going to go to the point of stripping it because it's tomorrow the tournament, but we're just trying to tidy up what's there already. There is lots of wet blending of the contrast paints going on here. We don't have a lot of time. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, so I don't want to get to bed too late if I can avoid it. But because it's my first Age of Sigmar tournament, I'm not expecting wonders from the actual gameplay side of things. Now there is a painting competition side, so that's where I really want to try and shine if I can. Now, I want to thank whoever gave this model to Murfield Miniatures originally, because they did do a great job of the model originally, and I'm literally just tidying it up, just trying to give it a fresh coat of paint, because I don't know how long it sat at Mark's shelf at Murfield Miniatures, and then it sat on my shelf for a good 6 months or longer. So it just really needs a little bit of a freshen up, and that's all this is. But yeah, it seems to be coming together nicely. Now we'll leave this big boy to dry, and let's get back to those orc manifestations. This is the Foot of Morg or Gork, I can't remember. I'll find out tomorrow. But we're just going to give him a bit of a manicure, and then we're going to look like it's got this warp lightning coming through all the veins in the foot. It's going to seep around all the edges, and I love this colour. This is Scorpion Green, I think it is. Yeah, striking scorpion green. It's a Citadel paint, it's a contrast paint, and just straight out. Now, because we dry brushed it earlier, it's just going to seep straight into those cracks wherever we want it. Now, this is quite a large brush I'm using, but it's got a great point on it, and so it's just creaking in straight to all those crevices. And we're going to do the same with the rest of these manifestations as well. Use lots of this warp lightning green, scorpion green. It gives a really, really nice effect. I'm quite happy with it. Right, we'll leave those to dry. Now let's get back to this Maw Crusher. I am quite liking the dark, but I do want to try and get some of those highlights back a little bit. So we've gone for a little bit of a grey from Duncan's Two Thins Coats range, and then we're going to use a lighter tone, a bit of a beige on the wings. Now, I did think this was a bit bright at first, but we can save it in lots of different ways. Now, I did think about using Null Oil at first, but then I changed my mind and I went for this camouflage shade. Anthonian Camo Shade. Now what this does is it gives a bit of a green tinge, same idea as the Null Oil, but it's a really, really nice tone, and because it's like a dragon at the end of the day, a big giant orky dragon, so I just thought actually using this on all the bony bits and all the spikes on the wings, it's just going to give that little bit of a darker feel to it, without being too grimy. But on those wings especially, I'm really, really chuffed with how this came out. Okay, so next we're going to try and, use this chain, and I had the idea of wrapping it around. It reminded me of something like from Game of Thrones, and I thought if we wrapped it around the model, then we could use the orc models that we're going to try and kit bash a little bit and glue them on top. One of them had a bit of a flail which was stuck to the base, so I've had to cut that out, but I thought if I actually attach the chain to that flail, it looks like he is the one that's holding up the Maw Crusher, this dragon, cabbage dragon type model. So lots of super glue and lots of free spray to get these models stuck down nice and quickly, and we've done the same with the chain. Now we have left a little bit extra so that whenever we get it onto its base, once we've rebased that to make it match the rest of the army, that it can just dangle down. I'd quite like to make a spike for it at some point, but I'm not going to have a chance to do that before tomorrow. In terms of basing, I have a wide range of different things, but I wanted to try and get it to match the original models that I've painted as best as I could, and they generally just have Armageddon Dust, which is a technical paint full of sand on it, but this is a big model. It needs a little bit more texture to its base as well, so a little bit of glue just to add that on, and then we're going on with this Armageddon Dust all the way around it, and then it needs a little bit of Null Oil in between and in around some gaps just to try and darken it up a little bit, and as it dries, I do think this will be very similar to how I painted those models originally. back to the Orc manifestations, and now I'm just going to use a speed paint from the Army Painter, which is Gravelord Grey, and I'm just going to cover all of the models in this grey, basically using it a bit like a Nuln Oil, but it does have a bit more depth to it as a colour, so it is going to colour in those bits that we dry brushed earlier on this evening. And here are the manifestations in all their grimy goodness. I wonder what they'll actually do in battle tomorrow. It'll be fun to find out anyway. And here we have our Maw Crusher on his base. Now I haven't added the grass tufts at this point, but I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with how this is coming out. So, let's see how we get on tomorrow. There is my Kruleboyz army. I will add some photos on Instagram tomorrow to let you know how we're getting on. I'm just going there for a bit of fun. Yes, I'm making up numbers in a way, but it's a good opportunity. I've painted most of these models before and they've sat on a shelf, so it's a good chance to try and use them. It seems pretty straightforward, very similar to 40k in lots of ways, lots of new things to get my head around as well. I think like with any war game, it's going to be all the extra things on the side that I'll forget, but I know the people that are there that are running it and everyone else taking part is there. They're all very friendly and they said they'll help me out along the way, so I hope they do. If not, I'm just there to have some fun. So anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and all that jazz, to follow along and watch this hobby space come together. We've got an awesome video coming about how we built it, so don't forget to catch that over the next week or two whenever that comes out. Maybe give it 4 or 5 weeks, we'll see. And yeah, we've got our ChillCon review to do because we haven't really been on since February, since March, since ChillCon, so we've got a roundup of that and various other things that we've been up to lately as well. Anyway, enough waffling from me. So I've been Big Bear, thanks for watching, happy gaming.